machine. No use to fight back. MMA, knock your nigga head like a KKK. Push your nigga mouth if you can't walk the talk. Smokes. Me running really, really fast. Ginger eye round the back of me black ass. Chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Closing inch by inch, got me in a pinch. Modern day Scotty Rock a laundry lynch. No use to fight back. MMA, knock your nigga head like a KKK. Hush your nigga mouth if you can't walk the talk. Smoke. Me running really, really fast. Ginger eye on the back of me black ass. Chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Closing inch by inch, got me in a pinch. Modern day Scotty Rock a laundry lynch. Chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Oh, close, smoke. Me running really, really fast. Ginger eye on the back of me black ass. Chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Closing inch by inch, got me in a pinch. Modern day Scotty Rock a laundry lynch. Or you will get turned out. No, 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 no. Suck Sullivan, don't mess with his load, or you will get undone. Spinning round and round, bleeding on the ground. Scotty Rocker, laundry killer, no remorse in this beamer. Fabric assassin, hood cleaner, coming for your Rasta queen. Rape on the washing machine, no use to fight back.
That was a shitty one. Hold on one sec. What is going on, everybody? How we doing today? As usual, hope we're doing well. It is a Saturday, and we're going to be doing our usual Saturday stream. And it's a little bit later than usual. It's because, truthfully, I didn't think I was going to. And there's a couple of different reasons why. One of them is because I'm sick, and I'm doing a lot better than I was, trust me. But I am still pretty fucking bad, if I'm being honest with you. I have this weird, like, wheezing thing going on. I have a pretty bad cough. You know, my respiratory system is irritated. and I've just been low energy, and it hit like Monday, but it wasn't that bad. It took until about Wednesday night for it to get like bad, and because of that, I had to call out sick Thursday and Friday, and I have no more sick time at my job. And that sucks because, well, I don't get paid for those days. Um, I'm in a weird spot in my life right now. It's a little bit frustrating. But it's a transitional period, I guess you could say, and I'm trying my best to figure out how I'm going to make the excuse me, make the most of that. Um, and yeah, we're gonna see what we can do. We're gonna see what we can do. But what is going on, Duke Lombardi? Hope you're doing well. Hello to anybody else who happens to be here. Um, yeah, I've been talking about it more and more lately. I'm in a bit of a transitional period. I probably won't be doing this for much longer. It'll probably be another however many months. By the end of the year, I'm probably not going to be doing this anymore, if I'm being honest with you. I love streaming. I love content creation, but my life is pulling me in other directions right now. I'm not saying I'll never be back, but I mean, back to this channel. I don't know. If I was to do content creation again, I might just start something else up and try and, start from zero, start from scratch, and have a different approach, a different way that I do things. That might be the way that I do. Excuse me. That might be the way that I do things, but I guess we will have to see what the future holds. But thank you, anybody who's here right now. I appreciate you being here. Um, yeah, I'm mad, dude. Look, I'm not someone who calls for violence. That's not something I do. I don't sit here and say this person should have that violent thing done to them, or I'm going to do this violent thing to that person. That's not the way that I am. I'm very careful with what I say and how I say it. That's actually one of the reasons why people don't really like me from the fish tank world, is because I wasn't going to go on there and start dropping slurs just to try and impress anybody, you know? And people can say whatever they want to say. That's the crux of it. We can be honest here, you know? They didn't like me because I didn't go on there and like piss on the walls or do some other like self-effacing shit, because that's what Fish Tank is. If you don't go on Fish Tank and self-efface in some way, they're gonna be like, "You're just fucking content, dude." Um, but yeah, like I'm careful is the bottom line. And I know what calling for violence is. Calling for violence is saying, I am going to do X thing to Y person, is what calling for violence is. I'm going to kick this person's ass, right? Or I'm going to do something worse to this person. Um, I'll talk about violence as a concept, right? And I might talk about how I might react to certain things that happen, but I'm not the kind of person who's going to say I'll beat your ass, right? That's not my thing. And yet, for some reason, Twitter, man, even talking kind of tires me out a little bit. I didn't realize, because like this is the most talking that I've done over the last like couple of days. Obviously, talking to my wife, we've actually had some pretty big discussions with each other recently. But talking to my wife is I speak and then I listen. So that's a break. Now I'm just sitting here like on and on and on and on. I didn't realize I was going to be that tired by it, so I apologize. But um um oh yeah, what I was trying to build up to, right? What I was trying to build up to was explaining that I don't call for violence. I know what violence is, and telling someone to stick their head in an oven is not violent. That's not violent speech. And yet, I told somebody to stick their head in an oven, which is obviously rhetorical. I don't actually mean, hey, open up your oven and stick your head in it. That's obvious. Like, it's preposterous to say that to somebody. It's like saying shove it up your ass is what that is. And yet I got banned from Twitter for a few days because I told somebody to do that. And the worst part about it too is what's it called? I guess when you get banned from Twitter, you don't get messages. You get DMs, but they don't actually show up for you until after your ban is lifted. So my ban was lifted today, and I go and I check the messages, and I had a message from one of the producers for PKA asking me if I wanted to come on for the show this Thursday. It was PKA episode 800. I would have been able to take part in a centennial episode of PKA, which would have been sick as fuck, you know? I would have been sick as a dog for it. But you know what? I would have fucking pushed through it. It would have been fine by me, you know? Um that's so fucking frustrating, dude. You know, to do something that's not even calling for violence on Elon Musk's Twitter, and the AI picks it up and says that's violent. He's calling for violence, and I lose out on an opportunity to do something cool and fun with a friend of mine and two dudes that I do like really like. You know, I like Woody and Kyle. I think they're cool guys. You know. Um, Kyle's gamed with us a few times. You know, he's an all right guy. Um, fucking what was I gonna say? And it's just so disappointing, man. And it's just like the Indianification of the internet, where it's just constant like, oh, sir, this is violent speech, sir. And there's a bunch of Indians like doxing you and saying, I hope this man's house blows up, sir. Like, they're doing that. Meanwhile, you tell someone to stick their head in an oven and you're being called violent and you're missing out on shit. It's like it's so stupid, you know? And the reason I call it the Indianization of the internet is because like you just like it's not a coincidence that tons of like fresh off the boat Indian dudes they fucking came to America, got into the tech industry, and then everything started just getting worse and worse and worse, you know. We used to think about Susan Wojcicki, right, and how awful she was as the YouTube CEO. Now we got that fucking that Indian dude, and there's been like just as much and probably even more awful soulless shit that has come about because of fucking Pandip Rajendahar or whatever his fucking name is. It's like, dude, that fucking sucks, you know? All these websites, all these institutions were created and built and made into legendary pillars of our society by people who were born and raised in America. You know, particularly white men, if we're being honest here. But we can extend that because it's not, like tons of different kinds of people are born in America, even some Indians. You know, people who are of Indian extraction, right? But the people that are fucking here doing that, they're the people that are getting the H-1B shit. You know, and it's just so annoying. I like this is so last year what I'm talking about right now, you know? This was the big thing last year and everyone was talking about it. And I know. Like fucking old hat, Scott. Old hat. Old hat is what that is. But it's so fucking annoying, you know? The point of a bureaucracy is that it doesn't work and that you have nobody to blame for it. You know, nobody actually has the power to give you the thing you deserve or to help you with the problem that you have. All they can do is just pass you along to the next person. And you know, the fucking by the time like you just get fucking tired. You get tired of looking, you know? And that's why like you have to be like a Karen, you know? You oh, excuse me. You know, when you're dealing with customer service, this is one of those things that like if you guys saw the way I deal with say like Amazon customer service, you'd be like, "Whoa, dude, fucking take it easy, man. Yeesh. What is your problem?" You'd be looking at me like that if you saw the way I deal with Amazon customer service. I give them like one and a half tries to tell me what I want to hear before I start being like, no, this is ridiculous. You need to do the right thing here. Let me talk to your manager. Who's above you? And then that guy's like, "Oh well, sir, the manager will tell you the same thing, sir. Are you sure you want to talk to him?" And I go, "Yeah, let me talk to him right now. Go, 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 go." Like I'm like a piece of shit about it. And guess what? I usually get what I want out of Amazon. I usually get what I want. But the times that I've been like, "Oh, hey, excuse me. I have an issue with this thing. I was hoping to get it resolved. I was hoping maybe you could help me with that." It's, yes, sir. I am sorry, but there is nothing I can do. Have a good day. And either A, I'm like, "Oh, well, golly, that sure does suck. Well, that's okay if there's nothing you can do." Or I'm like, "Well, is there anybody that can do something?" And they send me to somebody else who tells me the same thing, you know? You you literally have to you have to be a piece of shit if you're gonna get anything out of these bureaucratic systems. You have to be willing to use whatever you can. You have to be a welfare queen or a Karen about it. You know, they're not designed for like a good moral person to get anything. You know, they're designed to rape the good and the moral. You know, and it's disgusting. It's gross, you know. But anyway, what's going on, smart moron? Hope you're doing well tonight as well. Oh, fuck. I have this wheeze that happens because like when I inhale, sometimes I feel like I have to cough, and I don't want to cough too much because it hurts. That's how much I've been coughing. My head hurts. Feels like my eyes are gonna, you know. So like I just end up like it's making that noise. So if I do that a few times, I apologize. But yeah, it's just disgusting how the world is. You know, I know I'm the first guy to point this out. So you know, it may be a bit of a surprise to you people. It may be a bit of a surprise to you guys that the world is so fucking awful. You know, but it just sucks, bro. It just really sucks. Anyway, uh, Fish Tank got themselves in a whole week 2 onward, did they? I didn't watch a ton of season 5. I tuned in once every couple of days. A lot of the time it was on here, actually. I really only watched with you guys. There were times after week 2 that when I tuned in, I was actually kind of like, "Oh, this is cool. I like this." But yeah, there were also times that I was like, "Yeah, this ain't that great." But I didn't want it. I didn't want to be like, "Yeah, this just isn't like hitting." I figured it was probably because I wasn't watching a ton and I didn't have all the context as to what was going on. Sometimes minute by minute, other times just like, "Oh, who's this new freeloader? How long have they been here for? Hey, where'd that other person go?" Like there were a couple of people who were on the original cast that they got eliminated and I had no clue. It took me like a few days to a week to realize like, "Oh shit, I didn't see this person. I haven't seen this person for a while." Like there was a somebody said there was like a Haley clone on season 5. Um you know, that was like she just disappeared suddenly, you know? Uh Hi from India. Hello, Pradeep. How are you today, sir? Are you doing well today? I hope you are well. Did you fuck. Man. Um Did you see the Fish Tank finale? The final challenge was Goo wrestling, and James Drake choked the shit out of the twins. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. You know what? You know what? Yeah, we'll talk about the Fish Tank shit that I missed. Bert was legitimately enjoying it, and Jet and Ben said he had an erection watching James Drake choke the twins. Not surprising. Not surprising. By the way, what's going on, Zach? What's going on? What's going on, E9000? Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing well. You know, um, um, yeah. I didn't see the whole I got to be honest with you. Not having watched the entirety of season 5. I do think it's pretty funny that they put like a normie guy who had no clue what Fish Tank was on, who was just like decently athletic. Not like James Drake is not some kind of super athlete. He's coordinated and he's athletic enough, but he's not he's not like a fucking D1 prodigy, right? But just the level of athleticism that he had was just enough to completely dominate. It, excuse me, fuck. It was never going to go any other way than James Drake, especially with some of those challenges I saw where it's like, let's have the two slightly dysgenic, almost malnourished looking girls do this like athletic challenge against this dude. It's like, nah, there was no way that was going to end any other way, you know? I'm not saying it was rigged, but also funny choice in how they decided to do things. You know, I do think that's pretty funny. You know, what was I gonna say? Fuck, man. Man. Um, what was I gonna do? Yeah, that was. I don't think I watched the entirety of the Goo wrestling, by the way, but I did see the part where one of them started crying, and that was pretty hard to watch, if I'm being honest with you. Pretty hard to watch, you know? Don't don't take it personal, Prahit. I appreciate you being here. I'm just fucking around, you know? But I don't have an issue with anyone in and of themselves. I do have an issue with people that take jobs from me, though. I will say that. I have an issue with people that take advantage of systems that they should not be taking advantage of. You don't seem like you're one of those guys, so I don't have an issue with you. Me joking around about the accents, don't take it too serious, man. You know, you're welcome here. It's fine, but also don't be too sensitive here. All right, you should see some of the shit people say about me. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, that was pretty hard to watch. That was pretty hard to watch. You know, the crying. I don't even blame James Drake. Like you can't blame James Drake for that. You know, like 50,000 on the line. Yeah, I would have did the same. You know, would have been fine by like, yeah, of course. You know, um, but what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? Yeah, it was hard to watch from a spectator standpoint. And Bert getting a boner, yeah, that's exactly what I would expect. That is quite literally exactly what I would expect, you know? The sickest con of all time is the whole labor rights thing. Anyone using that language now is a hardcore no borders communist. Isn't an unlimited supply of scabs kind of bad for labor rights? Nah, and I saw what you said after that about it not being worded right. No, that's worded perfectly. Like, yeah. Um like eh, communism isn't what it used to be. Communism was always bad, right? Because at the end of the day, communism is a pipe dream. It is a utopian fantasy that does not account for the realities of the human condition, including greed and the wish to take care of oneself independent of what you are supplied with by a mommy or a daddy figure, you know? Um, it's just the reality. But it also did not take very long for communism to be infected with the anti-white, anti-straight, anti-male, anti-everything good and holy um, sort of behavior that we see from modern subversive communists, you know? There's two types of communism, I guess you could say, right? There's that Soviet Chinese, like the communists have power, so they don't want anything that is subversive to a society, so they don't allow gays to get married, and they don't let their sons play video games for 12 hours a day, and that whole women's rights thing that goes right out the window, except for things that are good for the state, like for instance having women in the workforce and stuff like that, right? They would define it as bourgeois immorality, is what they would call it. They would call it capitalist decadence, is what they would call that. And the only reason they're like that is because they are in power, and they know that these are things that will tear their society limb from limb. Now, when they implanted communist ideals and organizations and other things like that in campuses across the United States at different parts of the history of the United States in the 1900s. They made damn sure to make it all about gay, trans, black, Latinx, this, that, the other thing, because they know that these are things that will tear American society down, so that they can then send in a second wave of people who, if they don't build it up into, well, it's always going to be a Soviet vassal, right? Let's say the Soviets won. It was always going to be a Soviet vassal state, what they would have in mind. But whether they built it up into like a strong Soviet vassal state, or if it was just like a decaying carcass that they were going to feed off of, they would have built it into a country that was not okay with like gays. They wanted Weimar conditions to try and destabilize the nation, but when it comes to building up a nation, they know Weimar conditions are not actually good for that, you know. So what I'm saying is, like, yeah, like that's what excuse me. That's that's what these commies do. That's what they've been doing for a long time. Oh, excuse me. Jeez. That's just the way, that's hey, that's the way they are, you know. It's not even about communism anymore. It's about just like kill Whitey. That's it. That's all. That's all that matters to them. Um did you see? Oh fuck! Did you see James Drake beat up Bert again? It was funny because Bert didn't enjoy it this time. Fantastic. That's great. That's great to hear. Fucking round of applause for James, ladies and gentlemen. Fucking yeah. I think I saw that too. It was like the Hurt Bert challenge as well. Um, yeah, like maybe he wanted to savor the beating, but if it was me, I probably would have tried to throw a liver shot. I'm just saying, because I'd want to hurt him as quick as I can, as bad as I can. But I could understand if James was like, this guy's a fucking creep, bro. I'm gonna savor that ass whooping. Um, it's also, and I mentioned this, it's also funny to see the degradation of James Drake as well. He just he had kind of a private pile arc. People talk about arcs and stuff like that. James Drake had an arc, and it was his private pile arc, is what it was. It was his, like, I'm happy go lucky, hey, thank you for the love, everybody. And like around a week and a half to 2 weeks in, you just see him kind of, he just starts looking like that everywhere. Like every time the camera's on him, he has 1,000-yard stare. Oh, I gotta sneeze. I think I gotta sneeze. Oh man, they're looking for some big tough ass for season 6. Maybe they'll cast you as a host if 6 feet is enough. I mean, I'm a scary dude. Like the people that like to clown on me online, the only reason they do that is because they're online. I'm an intimidating guy. I know that. People are scared of me just being around them. It's the red hair. I'm built like a fucking berserker. Like I'm 6 feet is big. It's not that big. It's not like Sam big. Sam is like 6'4", but I'm wide. I'm wider than Sam. Like, if I'm being honest with you, my physical presence is just as like wide, if not wider. My shoulders, just like the way my body's built. I'm built like a brick shithouse, you know? Um, so it's like, yeah, I would be a good physical imposing presence, but they wouldn't cast me, you know. They just wouldn't, you know. I think I'd be a good host too. My issue with season 2, and I've talked about this before, was not that I was like, oh, I just don't want to do anything. It's that I didn't know what to do because I had no guidance and I was afraid that I was going to cross the line, you know? Um, I was afraid I was going to do something wrong and fuck something up, and something that they were working on forever was going to be ruined. And then I'm that guy. I'd show up and they'd ask me what I'm going to do, and they'd have no directions for me. So it's like, okay, like, of course I was not going to be that good, you know? Of course I was going to be like, I don't know, like, obviously, you know? Um, but if I was a host, I would know, okay, I'm the host, so I have leeway and I can not give a fuck about the idea of, like, what if I ruin something? Like, I'm going to be involved in the something, so I'm going to know how to not ruin it, you know? But it's like I said, they wouldn't cast me, you know? They wouldn't. And I could tell you why I think that would happen, but I don't think that's I don't think there's a point to that, you know? Um excuse me. Landon is in the cuck seat of some sedan right now, I think. Oof. James Drake had the endurance. Yeah. Oh yeah. Your mic needs a pop filter. Nah, I need to move it. I need to move it a little bit further away. Is what I got to do. I originally was like, oh, why don't I try not yelling tonight? And yeah, that didn't work too well. Or I don't know. Is this better? Is this good? I mean, you probably still hear some pops, right? But I am talking a little bit lower. I am talking a little bit lower, but the mic is a little bit closer. So, you know, is it doing its thing? Is it doing its thing? I don't know. I don't know. Was waiting weeks for the Twins to have a breakdown at losing. Just didn't think it was going to be in such a dog shit lowbrow manner. Yeah. Very disappointed in this season. Yeah, like I couldn't give you an opinion on this season because I didn't watch enough, you know. I'm happy that they were able to make it all 30 days. I think that is what they needed to do, was just try to get a full season in at any cost. I think they tried some really good things. I think they returned to the well, even though they said they weren't going to, which is, I'm not going to say it's disappointing. I'm going to say it is like, okay, maybe you should just accept that there are certain aspects of Fish Tank that you should be comfortable with, like the boxing, for instance, you know. Um, hey, like, they got a full season in, so good for them. Good for them, you know. Fuck. He had eyes blackened with either bruises or mascara, covered in pink beige goo. He's villainous and resembled Majin Buu by the end of it. Yes, I agree. Making James Drake do something fucked up to win is a character arc in its own weird way. Oh yeah, for sure, you know. I agree that this season was pretty disappointing. No Frank and no Fatty. It just doesn't feel like Fish Tank to me. Yeah, well, you know, like, I was a staple of the show at one point as well, you know. Um, and I got kept off season 3. Season 4, I don't think there was ever going to be a point that I was like planned to be on. Um, and season 5, obviously I wasn't there, right? I was going to be on 2.5. When I got kept off season 3, I was not upset at the fact that I got kept off. It was the lack of communication, which is a common complaint from people who used to work for them, you know? It's a complaint from people who do work for them, you know, currently. Like, that's just what they do. They make things up on the fly all the time, you know? Um, Sometimes it works, but when it doesn't, it really doesn't, and they end up having to flee 2 states and go down to fucking Georgia, you know? Um, so maybe they should learn from that and really make sure that they're like planning shit for real, you know? And it's bullshit, the idea that they can't plan. They can. They just don't want to, if we're being honest here, you know? It's not hard to make a plan that you have that is floating, that is not set in stone for a specific day. Hey, let's try this on this day. Or, hey, what happened today? Okay, tomorrow we're going to do this. Hey, we have these bits or these challenges or these activities, these games, these whatever, that like this is good pretty much no matter what's happening. Let's just have them do it. Like it's not hard to do that. They just don't do it, you know? Um, and like, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, fuck, man. Mm. I've been so stressed out lately. That's why I got sick. Who do you know that gets the flu in the middle of April? That doesn't happen. I know it's because I've been so stressed out, you know? And that's not fucking good, man. It really sucks. It really fucking sucks. But um yeah, uh, I've because of the flu shit, I was like, okay, well, what was I talking about? What was I fucking talking about again? Um, uh, like look, fish tank is just fish tank, you know, and they're gonna do whatever they want. My advice to anybody who is involved with fish tank is to not get too comfortable, because whether there's malice behind it or not, whether it's on purpose or if it's by accident, whatever the reason is, there is a good chance that they will forget to hit you up one day, or maybe they won't forget, maybe it'll be purposeful, and you will be left in the dark with promises that were not fulfilled. That's just a reality, you know? And I'm not saying that from a place of hurt or anger or hatred. I would love to be back for 2.5, or not 2.5, what would now be like 5 or 6.5 if they were to do a blood games, right? I would work with them at least one more time just to get that blood games in, right? Um, but like that would just be my advice to anybody who has like worked with the fish tank crew, because at the end of the day, unless you are Jet or Ben, you are replaceable. Even people who like you think might not be replaceable because they've been around for a couple of seasons. Uh, you know. Um and yeah, like it just hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Um fuck, man. Sorry about that. Graboony says, I asked Fatty about it. He said they were going to get a ticket for him on the first, and they just said they didn't need him anymore. Yeah, well, I hope that's not true. I don't see why you would lie about something like that, but I haven't talked to Fatty in a while. Fatty unfollowed me, and it's one of those things where I want to see Fatty do well, so I didn't unfollow him. I'm proud of him for his weight loss shit. He looks better than ever, and it seems like he's still continuing, so that's very, very good for him. Um, but for some reason, he just unfollowed tons of people from the fish tank world, and I don't know what the deal with that is. So I haven't talked to him specifically in a while. I'm not angry at him or anything like that, but when I noticed that, I was like, "Oh, dude, you and I got along perfectly fine." I liked you, Chris. Well, that's weird. Okay. So yeah, like I don't think I'm gonna be the one to corroborate that story there. I don't think I'm gonna go hit him up like, "Hey, Chris, what happened?" But it would be unfortunate if that was the reality. And an unfortunate aspect of that is that like that wouldn't be outside of the realm of what happens with fish tank stuff. Um, it's happened to so many people by now, including people who were considered to be staples, or like people that um, were like too important to like not have around. And hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Um, I've been trying to recover what point I was trying to make earlier, and I just fucking can't seem to figure it out. I just I can't seem to figure it out. Um, you know what? You know what, Graboony? I think I know what point I was trying to make. Things change sometimes. Things change sometimes. Um, Sometimes like you want something to stay the same, but it just doesn't. And does it always change for good reasons or the right reason? No. No. Sometimes things change for the worse for bad reasons. And I'm not even saying that's what happened with Fish Tank. But in your mind, maybe it did. You know, I think Fish Tank is just Fish Tank, and it's kind of hard to pin down. And because of that, I'm not going to say that it got worse. I couldn't even tell you. I didn't watch that much of season 5 to make a judgment, you know. Um but the bottom line is things change. And the reason I brought myself up was to say that like if you pay attention to the way that I was speaking between Bitch Tank and season 3 or even between season 2 and Blood Games, before I knew I was going to be on Blood Games, I was saying pretty much every time I talked about it, yeah, they said I'd be back, but I'm not going to get my hopes up because sometimes things change and that's okay, you know? Um Sometimes things just change. You can decide for yourself whether it's good or bad. Is it disappointing? Yeah, it's disappointing. I like Frank. I haven't been around Frank extensively, but like just on the ride that I gave him to Chris Lynch's house during season 1, being in the car with him just fucking chatting, just like idle chatter, getting to know each other a little bit. He seems like a genuine guy. He seems like an all right dude, you know? Um, and I appreciated that about him. There wasn't a ton of, yeah, it's me, Frank Hassel, to him. And considering that there's been plenty of people I met through either MDE or just people who like worked with MDE. Brandon Buckingham is not one of these guys, but as an example, Brandon Buckingham is like a guy who's not like MDE per se, but he's worked closely with MDE. There's people who I've met who have worked closely with MDE who they have this kind of, yup, it's me, Mr. E celeb. And Frank Hassel did not have that, you know? So I appreciated that. And again, that's also why I appreciated Brandon Buckingham, because he was not the same. He was not that way either. Um, so yeah, like hey, it's unfortunate. Sometimes shit happens, and it's not fun to figure out by not being told, and then you're like, all right, I'm ready to go, and then all the fans look at you like, oh, you're ready to go, you fucking idiot. Ha ha ha. Like, that's not cool. And I think that Jet and Ben need to be able to talk to people about that shit, because that was what pissed me off about not being back on, was that they gave all the shitty people who they know are shitty every season, every season, twice a day, they come up from the basement and go, "You guys fucking suck. We hate you. Die." Like that's their attitude towards them. Um, like they gave those people ammo to be like, "Oh, dude, Scott's a fucking desperate orbiter, bro. Dude, And it's like, yo, to me, that's like completely unacceptable. You know, that's not cool. You don't do that kind of thing. And I don't think it was cool that they did that to Frank either. You know, fuck. It it doesn't even like hurt. I know it sounds like I'm in pain. It's just like the strain of trying not to cough when you have to cough is like that. That's just what it sounds like. That's just what it sounds like. Um First 2 weeks were Jet's idea of new fish tank and were boring, and like you said, had to go back to the well to save it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They tried planning their ideas, fell through as the season continued. Like the computer room or shop, they need to take a serious look at themselves, or the next season will be the worst of them. You see, the reason why an idea like that would fall through is because there's too many dynamic pieces to it. It introduces too many variables, you know? Like I wondered what the computer room was, and I figured out after the fact that they had like Xboxes in there, which that was like a cool idea. You know, see the fish like playing Halo together and stuff like that. That's so cool. But people started getting their old 360s out and sending messages to the fish, so they had to take the 360s out. They should have set up a LAN. And the thing is, like, I'm only just starting to get into computers. I would assume that a LAN, right, a LAN party, um, that would have allowed the use of multiplayer without any kind of like outside access, you know? They should have set up some form of private network if they could have, um, in order to ensure that that wouldn't happen, you know? Like some of the idea, like they have lofty ideas. They need like ideas, like I was talking to my wife about this earlier today, you know, like we were talking about our future. Not to like throw my wife under the bus here, but like she was telling me all these plans that are like, yeah, we can do that 5 years down the road after working on it for like ever, you know? Like let's focus on what we can do today, you know? They don't focus on what can be done today a lot of the time. They focus on like a cool concept that like in their head will go down a certain way, and it'll be so cool if it goes down that way. But the thing is, when the rubber hits the road, when you introduce the idiot factor into it, it's gonna zig instead of zagging, you know? And that's like if if you know, you know, you know, it is what it is. Excuse me. Why did Ben say that Philip Tap 40 having an OnlyFans is a disqualifier when they literally had Bert on multiple seasons? I don't even know who Tap 40 is. I think they probably just didn't want him on for another reason, and they didn't want to say why. Scott, how are you celebrating 420 as a non-smoker? And I'm not naming any names. Livia Soprano. Yeah. Um I'm gonna celebrate the other reason to celebrate 420. Fucking no. Uh yeah. I don't know. Oh fuck. 420 is such a gay thing, you know. High schoolers like, dude, 420, we gotta smoke, bro. Dude, 420, bro. The first time I ever got one of the first times I ever got so high it was practically like an acid trip was on 420. I think it was like 420, 2014 or 2015 or something like that. It was just like retarded. Like so retarded, you know. I'm so glad I'm so glad I don't smoke weed anymore. It was always just such a waste of time. It sucks to care about people more than they do you, one-sided, but sometimes it's that way. Yeah, sometimes, you know, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, you know? Or oh, you know, to be fair to logistics is not a game of feelings, and running a show like that is a game of logistics, you know? It's resource management, you know? Fuck. Ah, man. Got any fucking boogers hanging out? Like, let's be fair here. running a show like that, and this is why I was not upset at the fact that I was not brought back, but just the way that I was not brought back. E- a show like this is logistics. It's not human resources, it's logistics, you know? And you got to do it with a modicum of class. You have to do it the right way, but you also have to be able and willing to be like, "Hey man, I know you want to come back, but I'm sorry, it's just not going to work." You know? You have to be willing and able to make those tough decisions and be like, "Ah man, this guy was so excited to come back, but he just can't." You know? You have to be willing and able to do that, you know? Um Oh, fuck, man. Also, Scott, I think you and James Drake would be super vibes. Too bad he's in Texas. You could have been a good ally in the tank. I feel like me and James, if we didn't get along, and I think we wouldn't have gotten along, we would have been rivals, if anything, you know, because he like I saw him multiple times throughout the show try to be the big dog, try to be the top dog. And I'm not one of those guys who's constantly like trying to maneuver and be like the tough guy in the room or anything like that. But if your maneuvering includes trying to either bully people that do not deserve it, that are weaker than you, or if it comes in direct conflict with me, right? If your domineering presence thinks it's going to try and domineer me, I'm going to step up to the plate over that. You know, I'm going to step up and I'm going to confront you over that, you know? Um I'm totally cool with just sitting in the corner, letting everybody do whatever they want to do and like going with the flow. Even if I know someone is probably like not the best leader and they're not the best guy to be like listening to on something, it's like if it's not something that's vital, if it's something that's not that critical, then yeah, fuck it, who cares? I don't care what video game we play, whatever. I'm here to hang out with you guys, you know? Yeah, I'm very low maintenance. But if it's like I have a preference that day, and instead of being like, "Oh no, I see you want to play that. I'd just rather play this today." Like if you're not willing to talk it out with me, but your answer is like, "Fuck that, dude. We're playing this instead." If like that's the way. If honestly, if you're John about it, you know how John was being on Blood Games. I love John, but like he was being a little shit, you know. Um, fucking like if you're gonna try to be John and you're gonna like bump into me with that kind of energy, I'm gonna be like, yo, fuck off, you know? And I feel like if I was a freeloader or if I was a contestant, because they wouldn't have brought me back in as Sensei Scott, that's for sure. But if I was one of those, me and James would have fought. And James is not a good boxer. He's good enough to beat on a bunch of people that don't box, but he's not that good of a boxer or that good of a grappler yet. He's on his way. I'm not saying he's shit. He's always gonna be shit. No, what I see is a dude who probably started within the last year or two. Maybe he doesn't take it all that serious. It's just a hobby for him. But he's made some good improvements and he has a stable foundation and he's just got to keep on doing his thing and he'll be a-okay. He'll be a-okay, you know? But if he and I boxed, it would not have been good because especially because I know like, oh, this guy knows enough that he could be dangerous, so I gotta like actually go on this guy, you know? Like, I don't know if you guys noticed when me and Greg fought, um, I was like going hard, but not that hard. I was like not trying to land every 2 seconds. And then Greg caught me with an overhand right, and I turned on, and I caught him with like 3 or 4 punches back to back. You know, hard punches, not even that hard, but they were stiff. You know, and they landed clean, and like that was me kind of kicking it up a little bit because I was like, oh, Greg is actually kind of a threat to me right now. Like last time we did any of this, he wasn't that big of a threat, but he's gotten better. He just got me. Oh, all right. Well, so that's what I did. With James Drake, I'd probably try a lot harder, you know? Um, oh, fuck, man. Um, I'm like really behind on the chat, you know. I like talking to you guys, you know. I like talking to you guys. That's why I do these things. I enjoy talking to people in real time and just talking, you know, and just talking. Seems like Sam was the glue holding a lot of the fan favorites together. I don't know, maybe, you know. Um, and I think Dunye burned his bridge today because Ben found out he sold his glasses and he's been selling so much shit he took, maybe stole from the house. Really? Wait, so he stole Ben's glasses, like his I need these to see or read glasses, or was it like Stunna Shades? Did he steal the Stunna Shades? Which one was that? Um yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I was happy to see Dunye back because like, you know, look, Dunye is a gay black dude from Florida. So that comes with some shit. And Dunye is aware of that, which is why he won't resent me for saying that, you know. Um, but I think Dunye is like an all right guy. You know, I've talked to Dunye. He's an easy enough guy to get along with. You know, um, and like because of that, I don't mind seeing him back. You know, I think he's fun to see on screen. He knows how to push buttons. He knows how to drive content. You know, so I would hope we see him again in the future. You know. But I mean, hey, like, you know, um, thoughts on the Sneeko punch incident? Oh, fuck. Oh yeah, that too. You know, you get banned from Twitter for a couple of days and you miss everything. You miss everything. Yeah, like Sneeko is not my guy. In fact, Sneeko is the enemy of my friend. So I can't say that I'm a big fan of Sneeko. Um, I don't like seeing people get sucker punched, especially because even though Sneeko is a shithead grifter, he's a Muslim degenerate. I know I repeat myself in saying that, but he's a Muslim degenerate who claims he represents like the red pill, right wing, this, that, the other thing. But really he's just a wigger. He's got that Zoomer wigger virus. He's a degenerate, you know. And I know like apparently he said now he's a socialist or something like that, right? Because he's a grifter. He's a wigger, grifter, degenerate, fucking idiot, you know. But just like with Gypsy Crusader, just like with Sean Strickland, when he got punched by a guy who would make absolutely positively no differentiation between he and I, even though he and I are absolutely nothing alike. We don't believe in the same shit. We don't act the same way. We don't share a religion, nothing. We are polar opposites to each other. But the guy who hit him would hit me with just as much gusto, maybe even more because I'm a straight white male Christian. So even though somebody I do not really like got popped, and I think that's a little funny, it's hard for me to be like, ha, Sneeko, fuck you, ha ha, got your ass. Like, I couldn't be that way because I guarantee you that dude wearing the ironic Dr. Pepper shirt was probably some kind of like wannabe dirtbag left guy. Like one of those, I'm a leftist, but I ain't no snowflake. I'll wait till you're looking the other way and I'll throw a punch at you on the street. That's what I'll do. Yeah, you know. That's how tough I am about it. Yeah. meet you somewhere and actually fight you like a man. No. I'd rather sneak punch you. I'd rather sneak on you is what I'd rather do. Like, knowing that that's probably who hit him. Yeah, I've not a fan. Not a fan. You know, not a fan. Um, yeah. So, hey, it is what it is. Scotty, what did you have for breakfast today? I don't have breakfast. I don't have no breakfast. Praying for you, Scott. Thank you very much, Peach Boy. I'll be honest with you. I could use it right now. I try not to ask anybody for anything, including prayers. Like, which I guess I should be willing to ask for prayers, but I try to avoid. I try to avoid like asking people for too much stuff. I don't want to beg for stuff. I don't want to burden people, and I don't want to give up my dignity or anything like that, even though prayer wouldn't be giving up your dignity. But you get the point that I'm making. But I could really use it right now, if I'm being honest with you guys. I have not been doing too well for a long time. Not been doing too well for a long time. And it's there's a light at the end of the tunnel with this move that I'm getting ready for, but there's things that have been testing me, including even the move itself. I'm trying to save money for this move. I'm driving my car the other day. I just dropped like 1500 to 2000 on it to get the front end fixed, because I got into that crash in 2025 and I had somebody fix it for me instead of going through insurance in a legit body shop. I had a mechanic come to my place and fix it for me, but there were still things wrong with it that they didn't bother to tell me about. So I'm like, okay, let's get this shit fixed. And there was even more shit after I got that extra shit fixed that was wrong, that literally nobody told me about, including the legitimate auto body shops that I brought it to. Like, so now my car is back in the shop with another $2,000 fix that needs to take place. And it's just like, fuck, man. Fuck. Fucking A. This is awful. I need money for this move. I don't know where the money's coming from at this point, But man, it's sheesh. So yeah, I could use the prayers right now. I ain't been doing too good lately, if I'm being honest with you. That's just one thing that's going on with me too. I can't sleep at night. Can't wake up for work in the morning. I'm late to work by an hour or two every day. My boss is taking notice. He's like, "What's the problem?" I had to tell him what the problem is. I'm having these weird fucking seizures, and it's not good, man. It's not good. My health is deteriorating. It's not good. But anyway, enough of that fucking bullshit. um I'm concerned that Jet's claim of depression after season 4 also damaged his creative or directional abilities, and hoping he can ignore the hate this time and lock the fuck in. Yeah, it sucks because um it's a cycle. Like, if you keep making the same mistakes, you're gonna keep getting the same outcome. But also, if people are always jumping down his throat every time he makes a mistake, I don't know if that's going to help either. But also, I understand, because it's like you're paying, so it's like, if you're not happy, you're going to be like, "Hey, I'm not happy," So it's like, what can you even do? What can you even do at this point? Hopefully Jet can just find a groove. Hopefully him and Ben can just fucking get their groove on. Did you see or already talk about when James choked out Bashir? I believe we watched that. I believe we watched that. I believe we watched it. You really needed to watch the fort setup. Drake completely mogged everyone with barricading and stood his ground. He knew he could physically dominate everyone, but restrained himself. I actually was glad he beat Bashir, because I don't think Bash would have went hard against the twins, and they would have had non-tent simped to a grand win. Excuse me. I don't think they deserved 20K. Um, yeah, I didn't really like Bashir either. The performative male. There's like a as an introverted, not flashy, not show off, wear like black and gray in public kind of guy. Wear my hood up. Wear my hood in public because I don't want people to see my bright fucking hair. You know, as one of those kinds of guys, to see like the performative, like I'm a Muslim because that's quirky type of shit. It's like I want to roll a bowling ball into his shins. I want to I want to beat him with like I want to soak one of those long baguettes in water and put it in a freezer for 6 hours and take it out and just start like whacking them with it. Dip a pool noodle in water and just start fucking like just going to town, you know? It's like that's what happens when I see someone like that. I'm not even saying he's like a bad guy. I'm just saying like it's vodka and milk, it's oil and water, our personalities. I'm just like, you fucking blowhard, get out of here, you know. Sneeko is the enemy of which friend? Brandon Buckingham. I was actually training Brandon when they had a beef. Sorry to hear you're so unwell. Hey, thank you, man. Where are you moving? Just out of Massachusetts. I don't want to say like it's like I said. There's a very good chance that before the move, I'm not going to be streaming anymore. And by the way, I've mentioned it before. I'd like to try and go out with as much of a bang as I could. So if there's any suggestions for, farewell streams, particularly things that I could monetize in some way to get people to donate to me, I would appreciate that. I would appreciate if you guys have any suggestions about that. Um, and I can try and plan that out. But let's say I was still streaming after the move. Maybe I'd let you know where I am after the move, but I don't want to be like, I'm going to Alaska is where I'm going. I'm going to go to Fairbanks. I'd rather keep that under my hat until I am firmly planted, you know. Explain the seizures more. I call them seizures because according to my wife, that's kind of what they look like. I think it's got to do with stress though. I don't think it's an epileptic thing. I think it's a stress response. Um but apparently I hit the ground and I just start shaking, you know. I don't even know how I shake. I don't know if I like foam from the mouth. I've never been told I've been foaming from the mouth, so I don't think I do. Sometimes I end up like I guess like hitting my head like that, not like deliberate like but like just the shaking. I'm like my head's just kind of like off the fucking ground. I guess I don't know. It's like a really weird thing, and yeah, yeah, it's got to be stress. It's got to be stress. Um, I've looked into it as much as I personally can, and I'm waiting to go to my doctor to talk about it with them. And hopefully we'll get that shit figured out. You know, they have Kick to fund them now. Only an opportunity to grow. Really? Did they get Kick funding? That's good for them. That's really a good move for them. Ah, good for them if they were able to get Kick to fund them. Do you feel them coming on? Could it be panic attacks? I think that's what it is panic attacks. I definitely think it's panic attacks. I don't like feel them coming on, but like the last thing I usually remember is like either a head rush or like a little bit of like dizziness or just like shortness of breath or something like that. Other times I just kind of like come to and I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? You know? It's really weird. It's really weird, you know. We need you to review Josie boxing stream yesterday. She boxed, bro, legit. Did she? We'll we'll check that out. We'll check that out. Uh, we'll check that out real quick. um, Danye stole his Stunna shades and a bunch of their shit. He was selling stuff right after the show on whatever site. He even sold Drake's red shoes to Bert that night too. Yo, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Not cool. Not cool. That's a party foul, but that is a pretty funny move. What's the last band you saw live? Actually, the last band I saw live was not a band. It was On Well, who is a reggaeton artist. And a good one too. You know, Bad Bunny kind of did reggaeton poorly. Um, you know, he gave reggaeton a bad rap. You know, Bad Bunny is a shitty artist. He's just like bad all around. He's not good. His music sucks. You know, reggaeton is like a good genre. You should give it a chance if you're willing to deal with like Spanish stuff, or if you are like of Spanish descent, Hispanic meaning. Um Latino, and you're like, okay, like technically, it is kind of similar. Like, we're Spanophones, so like if you're willing to give it a chance, give it a chance because it is good. It is a good genre. I do like it. You know, I could even give you artists and songs to look up, but I'll save you that one. Save you that one for now.
I need pee so badly.
Sorry, I'm looking around here. I wouldn't mind Letty as the new host, but unless the new host has to be a giant scary guy to keep the fish in line, I don't think Letty would be a good host. Letty would not be a good host if I'm just being honest with you, and I'm not saying that to be like mean or like I'm not saying that as like fuck. I'm not saying that as like, oh, me and Letty had beef once, so you know what? Fuck her. No, she does not have the presence. She does not have the control to be able to do that. You know, she she's not a leader in that way. She's not someone who's going to step into the center of a room and say, all right, everybody, look here, and have everybody actually do that and not like either interrupt her or like do some other inappropriate thing. That's just not how Letty is. Even with I've watched bits and pieces of her streaming way back in the day when she was like doing stuff with Ice Poseidon and other people, and like any guys that are around her that are not trying to hit on her are usually just like about a lot of like they're just she cannot command the respect of a room is kind of what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that again to be mean. I'm saying that as like a genuine understanding of Letty's personality. you know it's just not who she is. So I don't think she would be a good hostess. She would not be good. She'd be a good assistant. She'd be good as part of the crew, part like a Vance type character, right? Which I believe she was this season halfway through. She'd be good as that, but as like the one who has to come up and be like, "Hey, fish," like, nah. Excuse me. Letty fucking sucks. She just said tonight that if Drake and Bash were in the final, one of her challenges was going to be biggest hard on. She also messed up, remember the scale weights in a challenge. It was a huge issue where the weights didn't make sense, and she was trying to say that eating a bunch of food doesn't necessarily mean you can't lose weight immediately. I don't even know what you're talking about with the whole weight thing. The big the biggest hard on thing, like that sounds funny as like a joke that you like that sounds funny as a joke that you tell to your boys. Like, all right, fucking we're all right, guys. I know how we're gonna figure out where we're gonna grab food. We're all gonna pop some Viagra, and whoever's got the biggest hard on picks. Like, that might be like a chilling with the boys, tell the dumbest dick joke that you can think of kind of joke, and you might get a chuckle out of your friends. But yeah, like that would be a bit of a weird one. But like, also, nobody's batting 1,000. Nobody's batting 1,000. I've had some good ideas and I've had some bad ideas. And the people that hate me, they want to pretend like I've only had bad ideas. And the good ideas, they either ignore, or if it's something like the Haley bathroom bit, which was a great idea, by the way, that was fucking the best idea from anybody, all of Bitch Tank. Let's be honest. That was the best prank potentially in Fish Tank history. Let's be fair. It's top 5. Maybe not the best. I'm sure you could throw tons of things out there that it's like, oh no, actually we need to consider this, right? But that was a top 5 or a top 10 best pranks, best bits on Fish Tank, you know? Like, for something like that, they want to pretend like they're moral now. They're moralists. They're Puritans, you know. Oh, but he oh, but he was married, and Haley was married, and hey, that's not cool, man. On my fish tank, my Christian fish tank, what? My piss and poop fish tank, my cutting women's hair against their will fish tank. None of that. Like, the haters are always going to be the haters, you know. But like, the bottom line is you can't be batting 1,000, you know. I've had good ideas, I've had bad ideas, and Letty's had good ideas and bad ideas. What are you gonna do, you know? You take the good with the bad. They can't all be zingers, you know. What games are you playing nowadays? Heard PKA mention the other day about due for an appearance. Did I get a mention on PKA the other day? Is that what you're saying steadily? Because if so, that's pretty tight. I'd like to hear that. If you got a timestamp for that, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, I've been playing Arc Raiders. I've actually been playing Arc Raiders with Taylor's friends. Taylor, when he and I met, when he talked to me about AoE 2, I was like, I remember playing that when I was a kid. Fuck it, let's fire it up a little bit. Let's fire it up a little bit and play some. And I started playing with Taylor, and it didn't take him long to be like, I play with a big group of dudes. They're all friends of mine from Missouri, you know. Like, literally dudes he went to high school with, dudes he's known since like middle school. And he just kind of like had me jump in with them, and I just started jumping in. And now, like, Taylor's been mad busy with like a bunch of stuff he's got going on in his life. It's all good stuff, but you know, he's busy with it. And because of that, he hasn't even been gaming that much lately, but I've just still been playing with his friends, you know. So I've mentioned it before, but I'm really grateful that I met someone like Taylor. You know, he's one of those guys, right? Where like, we're internet buddies. We can't pretend like we're best pals ever. And there's a chance we may never meet face to face. There's a possibility, you know. But like, I do feel very grateful for his willingness to just be like, oh yeah, like, fucking come on and play with us. You know, you're welcome literally anytime. And that's what I do, you know? Um, so yeah, I've been playing Arc Raiders. We started this new game. It's a pirate game, and honestly, I forget what it's even called. It's not bad. But you know, we only just started playing it yesterday, so you know, we're kind of getting the ropes. And then when I'm playing on my own, I play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 because I played KOTOR 1 and I didn't mind it, and I decided I should play 2. Don't love 2 as much as I appreciated 1, but it's not the worst game I've ever played, so I'm playing it through just so that I can say I did it, you know. It did improve a little bit as I got more as I did more, you know. I'm thinking about what the game of the summer is going to be. I'm thinking I'll do another playthrough of Morrowind, and I will do something that I usually don't do, which is a Magic playthrough. When I play an Elder Scrolls game, I usually either want to snipe from a distance or I want to slash the fuck out of people with a sword. But it feels wrong. It feels like it would be wrong if I didn't do a Magic build in a game with such a robust Magic system as Morrowind that makes even the Oblivion Magic system look like fucking child's play times 10, you know? Um but yeah, um it was vague. One of them mentioned playing games with you. They said Scott, and I knew it was you. I believe it was Taylor. Yeah, you know, yeah, it was probably Taylor, you know, because I've played, like, Kyle has joined us a couple of times, you know, actually kind of recently. We played this game Phasmophobia. You know, and Kyle had a little bit of experience with it, so he jumped in and played with us. And you know, like he we played with him a couple of times, but I don't think he has a reason to be like my name popping into his head randomly during a PKA episode, you know. But I almost was going to be on. I would have been on Thursday, but because I was banned from Twitter for a couple of days, I did not get the message until today when I was unbanned. I got banned halfway through this week, and then Thursday, a few hours before the show started, I got hit up by Chiz saying, "Hey man, we had somebody pulled out. Do you want to fill in last minute?" And the message didn't go through because it was fucking like Elon's Twitter is fucking awful, you know? Um, and it like I was sick as a dog Thursday, but I didn't go to the gym, and I would have been fine like popping in. You know, it would have been for like an hour or two. You know, I would have been fine for an hour or two. You know, I would have been all good. Um, Sea of Thieves, no, not Sea of Thieves. It's another one that came out a little bit more recently. She had Ben and Jet using Grok to try and find examples of people losing weight after eating multiple boxes of Taco Bell. They just called it a draw instead. You see, you can lose weight very quickly, but the thing is, you have to do it a certain way. The quickest way to lose 5 to 10 pounds would be water weight. So the idea, like, I still don't know how. I still don't know how this thing was supposed to go. I still don't know what the deal with it was supposed to be, but if it was supposed to be a lose weight competition, what she should have done was she should have had them start drinking fluids with salt so that they would retain a little bit of water and then sweat out some water. Fucking bag it, take a trash bag, cut one hole and then two holes for head and arms, and then have them like jump rope or, you know, go up and down the stairs or do jumping jacks, push-ups, sit-ups, things like that. If it was going to be a multi-day challenge, then what she should have done was she should have encouraged them to only eat 50 carbohydrates a day and use protein for the rest of the sustenance that they take in, you know. It should have been plain chicken and brown rice is what it should have been, you know. Like like they could that wouldn't be something that like reads too well as like an entertaining challenge, but like a weight a weight cutting challenge over the course of like 2 to 3 days. Don't do it a whole week. I've done a week long weight cut and it is the worst thing ever. Do like 2 or 3 days, right? Where it's like, okay, by that third day you're starting to kind of feel it a little bit, you know, and save the water weight, by the way, for the last day. You save the water weight for the last day, like just before the weigh-in, right? um that's what you do. That's what you do, you know. um that's how fighters cut weight, you know. That then it maybe would have worked. It maybe would have worked, you know. And they could have had them doing other things too that would have exasperated how annoying it is to only eat like dry seasonless chicken breast and brown rice with nothing on it for like 3 days straight. You know, it would have they could have did things that would have exasperated how like annoying that is, you know. Then maybe it could have worked. Then maybe it could have worked, you know. They had a challenge to gain weight during the final series of events. Ah, so it was a gain weight challenge? Was it a gain weight challenge? Oh, man. I'm waiting for the 007 game by the Hitman creators soon. Oh, really? Is there a 007 game? You know, earlier today I watched No Time to Die, and I didn't know James Bond dies at the end of it. I didn't know Daniel Craig's James Bond died at the end of it, you know? I figured they would do the right thing, right? And after Daniel Craig's Bond dies, they'd look at the fucking broad-shouldered bitch that they decided to have be the new 007. Um they would have looked at her and been like, "Okay, your new 00 is 008. You are now 0010." You know, would have been nice if they retired 007, you know. But they didn't bother with that. They didn't bother with that, you know. They didn't want to do it that way, you know. It's fucking stupid. One of the funniest moments of the season is when they had to be as mean as possible to each other, and Landon told James Drake he had N-word babies. James Drake has mixed race kids. Oof. Ouch. Oof. Man, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man. Uh, I love the Bond series. I've been watching them with my wife, and I've just like I've been partaking in that classic thing that men do, which is just get on their wife's nerves at every turn, you know. When I was watching The Sopranos, I started going, "Oh," just to piss her off. And I did it so much, I started doing it for real. Like I'll be playing Arc Raiders with the guys. We'll be on Stella Montis, and I'll get shot at, and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm getting shot at. Oh." I'll be like that, you know. Um, One of the things I do is I look at my wife whenever James Bond does something smooth. I'm like, Sullivan, Scott Sullivan. I hold my wife hostage emotionally. I look at her and I'm like, "Am I smooth like James Bond, baby? Am I smooth like James Bond?" And of course she has to say yes, because if she doesn't, I'm gonna be like, "Oh yeah, well fuck you then." It's it's so fun to do. That's one of the best parts of having a wife is just like rage baiting her. It's one of the best parts of having a wife is having someone you can just like troll at any given time. You know, I would highly recommend it. Oh man, hold on. Before we try and figure this out, I gotta blow my nose real quick. Excuse me. Oh, where's oh, oh. you know, not to talk too much about my hardships again, but like one of the worst parts about being a guy is that like you're expected to put so many people on your fucking shoulders, you know, and trying to be as good of a guy as you can be. You try to help people as much as possible, and they just end up saddling you with more and more shit that you're not really even supposed to be doing. Um, like a great example is I go to the owner of my gym, and this is a day that he's supposed to be teaching the jujitsu classes. I show up to the gym and I had one of those seizures in the locker room, and you know nobody walked in on me. The only reason I know is because I kind of know by now if I just like fucking like if I just kind of wake up, you know, if I just kind of wake up like and I don't remember the last however many minutes, that's probably what happened, you know? I know I didn't fall asleep. And I walk out and I find my coach who is in the back getting ready to leave because he knows I'm there. And instead of running his own business, he's like, oh, good, I'm going to go get dinner. I tell him, hey, I had one of those seizures in the locker room. His response was, oh, man, that's no good. Well, be careful out there. And then he leaves. He just dips out. No, like, oh man, well, like maybe I should be around then today. You know, maybe I should lead the class so that we can, you know, we can make sure that like everything's gonna be all good. You know, no, just like no, you know, and you find yourself in this downward spiral that like anything that you could use to get out of it is just like not happening for you. Like I was telling you guys, I need money right now. Um, you know, like just more and more multi-thousand-dollar charges are just like hitting me from all sides, you know, and then tax season hits and I'm gonna owe $800 to the fucking IRS, you know, that type of shit. Um, and like I just can't seem to find money. You know, I can't get enough money. Like I'm waking up late for work. I'm getting like really fucked up sick. And because of that, I'm not getting holiday pay, which would have been extra money that I absolutely needed. Because the way the holiday pay works at my job is if you're scheduled on the day of a holiday, you get holiday pay. But in order to actually get it, you have to work the shift you're scheduled before, the day of the holiday, and the shift you're scheduled after. Well, the shift I was scheduled before the holiday, which is going to be Patriots Day this coming Monday, was Friday, and I was still too fucked up to work, so I had to call out. So now I don't get the holiday pay, you know? It's like, it's not just when it rains, it pours. It's like when it rains, it pours, and there's somebody there who's going to push you into the whirlpool, you know? And it's like, holy fuck. My whole screen is Josie right now. It's pretty great, isn't it? Um, No Time to Die was decent, but with problems. Better than Spectre, though. I've seen back catalog up to For Your Eyes Only, but nothing after except the Craig films. My favorite is On Her Majesty's Secret Service, only film where Bond gets married and then his wife gets murdered. Very different and grim ending. Interesting. I'm going to have to check that one out because I don't think that's one I've watched. We're not watching like chronologically or anything like that. We're just kind of like, you know, jumping around from like guy to guy, you know, or not guy to guy, but just, you know, movie to movie. We're not watching them like in, you know, we're just whichever one we decide we're going to watch, you know. Um, Man, but anyway, oh, 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 is this, yes, that's the Joes. That's the Josie Wosie. She's doing like Q&A in between the rounds is what it looks like.
This isn't correct. Alright. I'm so sweaty. It's hot.
It was a film with model casted George Lazenby, his only. I've never heard of that guy before. Oh boy, she's fighting. I don't want to hear every 2 seconds, so we are going to mute that. She's fighting an emo black dude. She's fighting like the inverse of what a wigger is. Wait, is that Sully? Is that a that's not Sully right there, is it? That's I don't think Sully is as dirty blonde as this guy is, but it did kind of look like Sully for a second. Yeah, she's fighting like what the inverse of a wigger is. It's like she's fighting a blemo. She's fighting a blemo. That's what she's doing. Oh yeah, no, that's not Sully. That's definitely not Sully. Daniel Craig is good. He said he'll never do the role again because it was too demanding. Oh yeah, plus Daniel Craig seems like he wants to do a bunch of stuff too. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's like what was I going to say? Um sorry, I'm checking my Twitter and shit like that. Like I've seen him in other movies, and I think it's stupid when he does his like wannabe Southern accent thing. Ooh, couple of hooks to the body right out the gate. I can't do that, Josie. You can't fucking do that. That's not good. You got to throw punches too. Oh, there's a jab to the body. Oh, there's another jab. Did they agree to just body shots? This guy's obviously not really throwing to the head. And Josie hasn't targeted the head yet either. Some shots to the body there. Oh, there's a counter right from Josie. Doesn't quite land. Oh, there's another counter right from Josie. Doesn't land. Ooh, that one made contact. Followed by another one. Couple of right hands. Ooh, there's a cross up the middle. Ooh, followed by a hook from the Joes. She's gotta tie up the hands. She can't just keep moving back because she's not getting out of there quick enough. She's gotta close distance and hug them, tie up the hands. Either that or she can get double underhooks and she's a little bit more protected. He doesn't have as much range of motion to be able to draw power. What's going on, ABC News? How you doing, man? But yeah, like Daniel Craig's like fake Cajun accent or fake Southern accent is kind of like stupid, you know? But what was I gonna say? Like he it's clear that he likes doing other movies. Like I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but I feel like Pierce Brosnan was just Bond, and like when he became Bond, that's just what he was. He was just Bond, you know? Maybe none of the other roles that he did were like worthwhile. Maybe that's the way it is, but it doesn't feel like he was like, yes, now I'm James Bond, but I also want to spread my wings, Daniel Craig seems like he really enjoys being an actor and he wants to do as many roles as he can. And also, it was supposed to be like 3 or 4 Bond movies per Bond, I feel like. I feel like the rule was like 3 or 4 Bond movies and then they typically get a new one. But no, like Daniel Craig was like for fucking I think the first I think Casino Royale was 2006. That would make it 20 years old. If there was a Bond movie that came out this year, which there wouldn't be unless it was like a flashback kind of thing where Daniel Craig, came back and it was showing leading up to something, or like another thing that he did once before he died. Like that would be 20 years of the same Bond character. That's like, yeah, yeah. I don't think that's good. Ooh, there's a right hand up the middle from Josie. Ooh, but a right hook from fucking Blemo. Blemo's doing a good job of targeting that body, you know. He's that's been money for him this whole time. But Josie's getting smart, trying to counter through the flame. Ooh, a couple of solid connections from Josie. Josie's trying to counter, make sure she, throws something in there, despite the fact that she's moving through fire right now, you know. And because of that, Blemo's got to be careful because fucking she's gonna end up going up top, which she has a couple of times, and one of those is gonna rock him. Ah, you see what I was talking about? He dropped his hands here, and she just happened to throw. Ooh, and there's an even better example. Ooh, a little bit of head movement. When did Josie stream this? Who are these people? She streamed it yesterday. I don't know who these guys are. Ooh, looks like nobody landed there. No clear landing there either. Fun fact, Ian Fleming's only other written work apart from the Bond novels was a tour guide to Las Vegas or some shit. Yeah, you know. I feel like Ian Fleming was one of those guys who just like he struck gold, you know. I feel like he just struck gold and he was like, "All right, I'm just James Bond now. Fine by me," you know. Give me a fat James Bond and an iconic intro he can shoot through a tube of Pringles instead of the barrel of a gun. That sounds like if we made a parody, you know, a parody of like secret agent movies. Oh, man. You know, James Bond is so prolific and it's so British, not just English but British. You know, it's so British that like, ooh, that almost landed. That almost landed too. How many rounds did they? Oh, knocked the fucking band right off. That landed square. Luckily, Josie rolled with the punch, though. Anyway, like James Bond was so prolific that like, and it was so British that actors who wanted to be James Bond but couldn't because they are not British. Ooh, that looked like it landed. Actors who wanted to be James Bond but couldn't because they're not British made their own American versions. What do you think the Bourne Identity was? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Mission Impossible was. That was Matt Damon and that was Tom Cruise trying to give America its own James Bond, and they didn't do a good enough job because I don't like. It's not even that they didn't do a good enough job. It's that like when you think Mission Impossible, you think Tom Cruise. Who's going to replace Tom Cruise when he's too old, you know? When you think of Bourne, when you think of the Bourne series, you think oh man. When you think of Bourne, right? You think of Matt Damon. Who's going to replace Matt Damon? You know, it ain't happening. Like they're gonna die with the inability of the actors who played them in the beginning to continue playing them. You're not going to be able to continue that. It's not going to happen. You know, Jack Reacher is basically a parody. That's a ridiculous show. Yeah, like I hated Reacher, but I couldn't stop watching it. I think it's because I didn't have anything better to watch. I watched it last summer with my wife, and it was so fucking awful. It was so bad, you know. I remember this one part in particular that bothers the fuck out of me, right? And there's multiple, but this one always sticks in my head. They get pulled over by these cops, right? It's like him and Neely, and Neely's driving, and he like puts his seat back, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm getting some sleep right now." Well, the army says sleep when you can. And it's like, what did you get? Like 3 seconds of shut eye? What did you think was gonna happen? You know they're getting ready to arrest you, so you're like, I'll take a nap now. That was just their that was their attempt to be like, we're gonna put some quirky military shit in there. Is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put some stuff in there that only that only military guys would remember because their drill sergeant screamed at them about it. One day is what we're gonna do. It's like that's so stupid. That is so dumb. You know. Anywho. All right, we got the next round. CIA operator Jack Ryan. Was that 24? Was that the movie 20, the show 24? I never watched 20. No, Jack Bauer. Jack Bauer was 24. Can you expand on these movies not doing a good enough job versus Bond and Bourne Ultimatum? Comes to mind, and I'm like, come on, dog. It's not that the movies didn't do a good enough job. It's that like I think they're too attached. Ooh, that cross down the middle rocked her. It's that this dude's starting to pick it up a little bit. You see, he's starting to throw a little heavier now. Bet he feels like a tough man. Anyway, Josie's tall too. Like Josie's like as tall as me, or maybe even a little bit shorter. You know, Josie's like a tall chick. If I remember, she might have been like 5'10", 5'11", 5'9" at the shortest. You know, so this guy's probably like 6'1", 6'2". Got to throw, Josie. Got to throw. You see him loading up like that. You got to fucking cut him off, like right there. He wants to throw to the body. You should take that and go whop right over the top, kind of like that. You know, a little more gusto. You see, that was a little bit better. It's the point that I was trying to make is like Bourne and Mission Impossible are a little bit too attached to the actors who played the characters. You know, Bond Bond is an idea that like you carry into every new decade, and you get somebody new to play this idea, this character, right? Like people think of Sean Connery, they think of Pierce Brosnan, they think of Daniel Craig, right? But like that's not, they played Bond, but they're not Bond. Everybody has somebody who in their head that is Bond, but like you can at least accept the fact that like Pierce Brosnan is in his like 70s now. Sean Connery's been dead for however long. You know, like you're going to have somebody else playing it. It wouldn't feel right at all if you had like like Dylan Powell, I believe his name is. He's an actor that you're seeing more lately. I feel like he played he played the main character in The Running Man. I forget. Maybe it was Glenn Powell. It might have been Glenn Powell is his name, but his last name's Powell, right? He's in another movie that I saw recently, How to Make a Killing. He's somebody that they probably would try to cast for like a remake of the Bourne Identity, or if there was like a new Bourne movie that they wanted to make and they had a new guy playing Jason Bourne, they'd probably try to cast him and it would not work at all because Jason Bourne is Matt Damon and Matt Damon is Jason Bourne. That's just how it is. I don't make the rules. Eh, Hey, hey, you know, it is what it is. SOCKS. Hmm. Hold on one sec. I gotta send my wife a message. Oh geez, we're almost actually done with this. We're almost done with this stream. Okay. I don't know how long this goes on for, so I think there's like one more round maybe. It seems like there's like one more round. There's one more round and then a couple of the dudes box it out. So, we'll watch that and then we'll watch that one round of the dudes boxing it out. And we'll probably cut it off there. We'll call it off there because it is reaching that 2 hour mark, you know? My fucking ass hurts from sitting. Fair enough, makes sense. I can't see anyone else being Ethan or Bourne either. A new actor would probably tank the franchise. Yeah, that's kind of what I meant. Ooh, that was a nice right hand from Blemo over there. Ooh, that was a good left hook. I don't know if it landed from Josie. Caught a few there as well. Swing and a miss. A swing and a miss. Josie could easily just bat the dude's hand down and like deliver a shot to the body. She could go underneath it and start going to the body, The way that there's a such thing as a long guard, right? You can use a hand out to frame and to try and keep somebody away from you. That's not like wrong the idea behind what he's doing, but the way he's doing it is just like piss poor. Which like this dude clearly does not train, so whatever. It is what it is. He did, however, catch Josie a few times there. Good for Josie for sticking in it. Um I wonder how Arizona is, because Josie's from Arizona, right? There's something about the American Southwest that there's just something about it. I'm like, huh, you know what? I kind of like how it looks there. You know, I'll bet when the sun goes down, it's real nice. I'll bet when the sun is up, it's the worst thing you've ever experienced. But I bet when the sun's down, it's not half bad. It's not half bad. You know, I wouldn't mind visiting one day. You know, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind going down to Arizona, New Mexico. You know, East Texas, West Texas. You know, thoughts on Ben beating a drunken Landon on Fish Tank? I don't know what thoughts I could have. Uh, Ben just wanted to punch Landon, so he did what he thought he had to get away with being able to do it. And yeah, that's what happened. Definitely a dick move. You know, but also talk shit, get hit. You know, I don't think anyone was really in the right there. All right. Looks like that's the end of the round. Let's see. They declared a winner. We got Great Value brand Sully Barnes. All right. It's funny seeing dudes who have had like either 3 weeks of boxing or they've watched enough boxing that they're like, let me try to do that, and they just do it so poorly. I'm not even trying to be mean to this guy right here, you know? It's just like we can be honest about what we're seeing here. This guy is clearly not very well trained either, you know? Oh, I thought he was gonna get him. Ooh, you see, that was a smart idea. He came out with the fucking Blemo over there, tried to do the long guard, you know. They ended up in a clash. He cleared it out and he tried to go over the top. That was a good idea. And is that it? That's all. That's it. That was it. All right. I guess that's it. All right. Well, just hoping we get a little bit more out of that. TJ had a bruised rib, LOL, or broken even. Yeah. I feel like it was probably bruised. I feel like if it was broken, it would have been a lot worse. You know. Um. Excuse me. TJ got beat up worse by production than Landon. Yeah, but the difference is TJ was like, "All right, let's fight." Landon was like, "I don't want to fight, man. What? We got to fight? Why do we got to fight? I don't want to fight. Dude, I don't want to do this. Why do we got to fight? Why? What are we doing?" You know? That's what Landon was doing. And then when he was like, "Okay, I guess," because he felt pressured to, they did the glove touch. What? You know? Excuse me. Jeopardy stream with the season 5 fish when. If I can organize something like that, I will, but I don't like I don't have the time or the energy, man. I had things that I was planning with multiple people, and they just never came to fruition because I simply could not get to the finish line of the planning stage and then be like, "Hey, let's do it August 9th." I simply could not make it work. I just had way too much going on. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh man, but yeah, if I can, I will. But also, like season 5 fish, these people don't know me. Even if they do know me, like they're probably not gonna be like, "Oh shit, it's Sensei Scott from season 2. I want to fucking talk to this guy." There's a very good chance that I'm not gonna be able to like hit these people up and have them answer me. There's a very good chance that's not gonna happen. You know. production got mogged for this season. Production got mogged this season. Scott, the new host for season 6. Honestly, like, I think they should take a chance on me for host. I know it won't happen, but they would not be making a mistake taking a chance on me as a host, you know? When I have direction, I do better. And I had more direction for Blood Games. I had a directive. I had an idea of what I should be doing when I should be doing it. And I was able to do a lot better in multiple ways on Blood Games, to the point where I had proven myself so much to people like Xavier and Soda Man and people like that, that not only was I going to be the leader of a faction in Blood Games 2, we had a faction system that we were working on. I was going to be sleeping on the map as a leader of that faction, and when I had downtime, I was going to be a director. I was going to be going into the woodshed to monitor how certain things were going at certain points and telling people, hey, we need this here now. We need this to be going on there. Hey, we need more of this. That's one of the reasons I was so disappointed about Blood Games 2 falling through. And the thing is, the way Jet and Ben do things when it comes to anything at all, especially fish tank related, there's a very good chance that if they did have Blood Games 2, it wouldn't be anything like what we were planning. They would scrap so many ideas that were good ideas, by the way, just because the vibe is different, just because they decide on a whim, like, nah, we don't want to do that anymore. Like, I'm willing to bet that's the way it would go, you know? There are certain things that definitely would stay, but I think a great deal of it would not stay. And yeah, that is what it is. Sometimes shit changes, but like, the point that I'm making about that is, like, it's not that I'm not good at all. It's that I'm not good in an environment where I don't have direction. I don't have an understanding of what's going on. I don't have an ability to know what the tone, what the temperature is, what everybody's thinking, like what we're trying to get done in the moment, you know? And if I was a host of the show, which again, I'm not, you know, I'm not even trying to make a case as in, like, hire me guys, please. That's not even what I'm doing. I'm talking hypotheticals here, because you happen to mention, if I was a host, well, then there would be no reason to keep me out of the loop. I would be in the basement constantly, just as much as they are, putting in my 2 cents, getting a read on what's going on with everybody who's trying to figure out what to do. I would understand what's going on in the tank right in that moment, and I would be able to go to bed at night thinking about, okay, like, what happened today? How can we utilize that to build off of something tomorrow? You know? Um, but hey, it's like I said, that's not gonna happen. I'm just explaining why I do think I would be a good host, It's because I fit into whatever I fit into whatever can. I'm like water, right? Not to be gay Bruce Lee quote guy, but like, I can fit into whatever container you need me to fit into. You just have to give me a container to fit into. If you don't give me a container, I'm just going to be a puddle on the ground, and you're going to step in me and you're going to be like, what the fuck? And you should have given me a container. But because you stepped in me and you got your shoes wet, because you got your Balenciagas wet, you're going to be mad at me for it, And if I was like the host, or if I was like a member of production in that way, if I was like an enforcer, like they bring Bam back because Bam is a star power kind of guy. And I seeing Bam, I think he was good for the show, If I was like an enforcer kind of guy, like Scott, like don't fuck around because like Dad will come up here. Don't make me tell Dad, you know. Then yeah, like that would be a good role for me. But like I said, not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. But since we're talking hypotheticals here, Scott, would you be willing to react to my first amateur kickboxing fight? Yeah, sure. If you send it, if you send it to me, we can react to it right now, and then I'll skedaddle. Okay. So yeah, buddy, if you send it to me on Twitter or Instagram or wherever you can send it to me, go ahead and send it to me, and I'll react to it right now, and then I'll hit the road. I'll hit the road. Scott Goldstriker acts exactly like Sam. I start walking around. Hey, where's the ice cream in this joint? Hey, what's the big idea here? Ain't nobody mogging you, bro. You would give some whoop ass all day. I'm saying is, oh yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Production got literally zero respect this season. Someone like you as an enforcer would have been good to keep them in line. Yeah. Right now they use Vance for that role a lot of the time, and it's more that they use him to like when they use him like, oh shit, something's popping off. Vance, get up there and like pull him apart. And Vance does a good job of that. And Vance is not someone you want to mess with because Vance has a backbone. Vance is chill, but he has a backbone, and there's a line that if you cross with him, he will aggro on you. But me, I look it more than even Vance does. Vance looks like a nice guy. He doesn't look like a bitch. Me, I look like a fucking a fucking bruiser. I look angry all the time. I'm not. I'm I'm fucking not. But I'm just an unsightly, like, oof, I want to steer clear of that guy. Wherever that guy's line is, I don't want to come within a mile of it. I want a wide berth. Wide berth, you know? Excuse me, jeez, but and that helps. That helps having someone like that around. They could keep you chained up in a padded gym like Hannibal Lecter until they need you to stomp someone, like Pigsy in Manhunt. They keep me chained up in my tighty whities. They feed me like ham hocks. I'm chained up in the arena like the fish. There's a rotating schedule where like one fish one day has to come feed me like ham hocks and diet coke, some like heinous shit, you know. And if I get out, I just rampage through the house. Ben didn't really get mogged; it was mostly Jet. Well, the like Ben will fight and he'll fuck somebody up, but he's got that California chill vibe sort of thing going on where it's like he's easygoing until you cross that line. The key is you don't want to come close to my line. When you see someone like me, you think to yourself, "Damn, I don't know what that guy's problem is. I don't want to find out." And that's why people are sometimes a little standoffish with me. Sometimes that's why they find me unapproachable, because I am unapproachable, because I look unapproachable, because people think that guy looks like he's in a bad mood. I don't want to take my chances. Someone like Ben, people fuck with him and they find out, oh, he will fight me, he will hit me, but only after they've fucked with him. And at that point, it's like, well, I know where the line is. I can come pretty close to that line. You know? I'm gonna see if he sent that anywhere. If he did, I'll react to it. If not, I'm gonna get on out of here. I'm gonna hit that dusty trail. And then maybe he can send it to me next time. Yeah, it's looking like he has not sent it to me. So Ben and Jet know who they can fight. Who can they fight? They'll beat up Landon, but even Jet admitted James Drake would beat Ben up. Yeah, you know, like I would, you know, Ben might not be as quick to be like, oh, James, you're crossing the line, you know. There's a chance. Yo, Wes got some hands on him though. Yeah, Wes, you can tell has some boxing training. You know, I held pads for him after 2.5 when he came to visit. You know, you know, I was impressed. You know, he's a lefty, and you know, he's got decent form. You know, the arena needed its own tournament. One of the biggest problems this season was lack of fiscal incentive for each challenge. Previous seasons had fish bucks. They started doing that too late. Yeah. I don't know why they make some of the decisions they do, you know? Like, and I don't think it's all just like, they just make things up on the fly. I think they do have legit reasons to do and say some of the things they do and say, right? It's not just the vibes are off or anything like that. But yeah, like there are some things where it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? Having monetary incentives for challenges or other incentives, you know, like you get to make a phone call to one person. You get an hour of phone time, you know, like that type of shit. You get to pelt somebody with eggs. You know, the winner of the challenge gets to choose one person to pelt with eggs, you know, or you get a full carton of eggs that you get to snipe people with at any point you feel like, you know. Like stuff like that might not be bad, you know. But anyway, I think it is time for me to skedaddle. All right, I do want to say thank you everybody who showed up today. Thank you everybody who's been here. You know, I appreciate you, as you know. I had planned on streaming tomorrow, but I had some time that I did not expect to have. Yeah, at this point, yeah, buddy, I would probably like to react to it another time. Either that or I can make a video and I can post the video. It'll be one of the two though. I will react to it though. I will make sure I react to it. You know, thank you for sending me that, you know. And yeah, you know, just thank you everybody. I appreciate it, you know. I will head on out and I will see you all next time. Peace.
Suck Sullivan, don't mess with his load, or you will get undone. Spinning round and round, bleeding on the ground. Scotty Rocker, laundry killer, no remorse in this beamer. Fabric assassin, hood cleaner, coming for your Rasta queen. Rape on the washing machine, no use to fight back. MMA, knock your nigga head like a KKK. Hush your nigga mouth if you can't walk the talk. Smokes, me running really, really fast. Ginger eye round the back of me black ass, chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Closing inch by inch, got me in a pinch. Modern day Scotty Rocker, laundry lynch. Knock your nigga head like a KKK. Hush your nigga mouth if you can't walk the talk. Smoke. Me running, me running, me running really, really fast. Ginger eye on the back of me black ass, chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Closing inch by inch, got me in a pinch. Modern day Scotty Rock a laundry lynch. Chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Oh, close, smoke, me running really, really fast. Ginger eye on the back of me black ass, chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Closing inch by inch, got me in a pinch. Modern day Scotty Rock a laundry lynch. Or you will get turned up. No, 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 no. Suck Sullivan, don't mess with his load, or you will get undone. Spinning round and round, bleeding on the ground. Scotty Rocker, laundry killer, no remorse in this beamer. Fabric assassin, hood cleaner, coming for your Rasta queen. Rape on the washing machine, no use to fight back. MMA, knock your nigga head like a KKK. Hush your nigga mouth if you can't walk the talk. Smoke. Me running really, really fast. Ginger eye round the back of me black ass, chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Closing inch by inch, got me in a pinch. Modern day Scotty Rock a laundry lynch. Assassin, hood cleaner, coming for your Rasta queen. Rape on the washing machine, no use to fight back. MMA, knock your nigga head like a KKK. Hush your nigga mouth if you can't walk the talk. Smoke. Me running, me running, me running really, really fast. Ginger eye on the back of me black ass, chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Closing inch by inch, got me in a pinch. Modern day Scotty Rock a laundry lynch. Chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Oh, close, smoke, me running really, really fast. Ginger eye on the back of me black ass, chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Closing inch by inch, got me in a pinch. no doubt. No, 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 no. Suck Sullivan, don't mess with his load, or you will get undone. Spinning round and round, bleeding on the ground. Scotty Rocker, laundry killer, no remorse in this beamer. Fabric assassin, hood cleaner, coming for your Rasta queen. Rape on the washing machine, no use to fight back. MMA, knock your nigga head like a KKK. Push your nigga mouth if you can't walk the talk. Smokes. Me running really, really fast. Ginger eye round the back of me black ass. Chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Closing inch by inch, got me in a pinch. Modern day Scotty Rocker laundry lynch. Assassin, hood cleaner, coming for your Rasta queen. Rape on the washing machine, no use to fight back. MMA, knock your nigga head like a KKK. Push your nigga mouth if you can't walk the talk. Smoke. Me running, me running, me running really, really fast. Ginger eye on the back of me black ass. Chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Closing inch by inch, got me in a pinch. Modern day Scotty Rocker laundry lynch. Chasing me like a devil, pot belly of the beast. Calling me a dickhead, there is no resist. Oh!